welcome to a brand new week of Bonus Stage Plus. Of course, my name is Billy, and with me, of course, is my esteemed colleague and friend. I know that's a bit too formal of an introduction. I'm working on it, okay? This is Renzo.
I accept esteemed colleague or friend. I also accept buddy, but I am first and foremost player 2 on the Bonus Stage Plus. What's going on, guys? Very happy to be back on the show here on Facebook for everybody. Got so many people who were commenting last week. I just want to mention that they wanted us to play Jackbox games. They wanted all of Play FM to play Jackbox games and put it up on Facebook. That's
Isn't
a good
that
idea, man.
something that we've already done, except with like a ton more swearing? I feel like...
Yeah.
And, can I mention this? And maybe some certain drinks to help us along with that.
That's true. I mean, I got my water. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I mean, we Ginago and Naman, we do Jackbox.
Yeah,
but we
we've done
haven't yet
that.
to actually like record it because I feel like it's gonna be a nightmare for our editing team to edit all the stuff out.
There's going to be a lot of stuff. I mean, just certain bits of language that need to be edited out. But of course, we played Jackbox against each other, with each other, and yeah, that's something that we're looking forward to, or that's something that we'll try to look forward to maybe sometime in the near future. We just need to get all the logistics together. But that is a really good suggestion, and honestly, I actually miss doing that. It's been a while since we last played, so thanks for reminding us. We've got, of course, news and trailers, and given that this past weekend saw the launch of Marvel's Avengers, I'll be giving my thoughts on the first couple of hours of the campaign. This game is a lot larger than I expected it to be, alright?
Okay.
So, there's layers to it, kind of like an onion, or maybe, you know, an ogre.
Thank you, Donkey. Thank you.
And with that, of course, let's not delay you any further. Here's the news. And we are opening up news this week with something from Apex Legends. What's up, Lorenzo?
Okay, so Apex Legends, the rumors of the crossplay abilities of the game were, of course, very, very persistent throughout the years, with Fortnite allowing cross-platform and all these other VR shooters as well. But officially, since I believe the announcement of Season 5 or 6, I think 5 it was, they had officially announced Apex Legends crossplay for Origin, Steam as well, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, if I'm not mistaken, yes, and PS4. And while there isn't a solid date yet for the release of crossplay meaning, you know, players of a certain platform will be able to play with players of a different platform. For example, if you play on PC, you can play with your friend who plays on PS4. Example, I can finally play Apex Legends with Billy on the game through cross-platform. And while there isn't a definite date yet for cross-platform release, they say that it is going to be released alongside the release of the game on, I believe, Steam, Switch, and mobile. So while there's no crossplay for mobile, it's going to be releasing the same time as its release on Steam and Switch. So most likely mid-September is when we're expecting that. But I know there are a lot of people. Yeah, that's basically just like a few days away from now. But then I know a lot of people have been complaining because, syempre, controller aiming is not as quick and precise as mouse and keyboard gameplay. So there might be some people who are thinking, what if I'm not gonna be as good or quick at my reflexes as PC players? Will it be unfair if I'm a controller player getting put into PC lobbies? So what are they gonna do about that?
They have solutions for that. So there's a little bit in the article that we've been looking at that says, you know, some of the intricacies of matchmaking. So if you're an all-console squad, let's say it's you and your buds, maybe two PS4s, two PS4s, one Xbox One. Right, I forgot that the squad size in Apex is like 3 players.
It's 3, yeah.
All right. So you got that, so you're all on console, and the game will recognize that and just match you up in a game that has nothing but console players. However, if at least one of you is on mouse and keyboard, so of course we're talking PC here, that's when they can, of course, bring you into the mixed games, because at least one of you will be on, of course, a more accurate control scheme. Of course, if I'm not mistaken, let me see, Respawn Entertainment has been pretty good with their aim assist options. It's just a gentle nudge in the direction, but it doesn't feel very aimbot-ish, and that's what I like about it. But, of course, not to flex, but, you know, even if you're on pad, why don't you just turn aim assist off? Practice that.
I mean, that's true. It's not as broken as COD Warzone aim assist, which is notorious for being very, very generous.
I've seen some of that. I like
Yeah, it's
Respawn.
pretty
I like how
nasty.
Respawn does it.
Yeah, I mean,
Of
it's to the
course.
point where there are a lot of like players who have gone professional on PC using controllers. For example, Daltouche is a very famous player who plays on PC using a controller. So, you know, it's not impossible to be good with a controller in Apex Legends with, as you said, Respawn's very, very...
It's very subtle.
Yeah,
It's very
aim
subtle.
assist.
It's not like, oh, I just hit like L2 or left trigger and then it automatically
And then I snap. It's not
snaps.
GTA. It's not
No,
GTA.
it doesn't work like that. It's just so minute. Sometimes you don't even notice it's there. I mean, I've been playing, of course, Titanfall 2, of course, another Respawn game. It had aim assist on the entire time. Like, I played through 75% of the campaign and some multiplayer with it, and then I didn't realize that aim assist was on, and then I turned that off, and I also barely recognized the difference. It's
There you
just
go.
that
But-
very, very minute movements just to help you with your aim, but not completely hold your hand. It's not very training wheels-ish, so I'm glad that
Definitely.
something like Respawn is handling this.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Again, mid-September, folks, for Apex Legends Crossplay, and it will also be releasing on platforms like mobile and Nintendo Switch as well. So please look out for that. I'm so excited to play Apex Legends with you and Anton, man. I know Anton's been practicing.
Oh, yeah.
Mid-morning high.
And from the looks of it, looks like I'm doing a triple dip on Apex Legends because I already got it on 2 platforms. So, you know, what's the problem with the third, right?
You are cross-platform. Billy is cross-platform. All right, folks, and in more crossplay news, we got something from the world of Rocket League, courtesy of Billy. What's going on, man?
So, of course, Psionic's big hit from, I believe, 2015? Yes, it's been that long since the game first released, is going free to play pretty soon across all platforms that it's available on, with one very glaring holdout. And can you guess which platform it is? Any guesses, Renzo?
Mobile?
Not exactly. Okay, so it's out on Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and of course PC. Now, for the longest time, you've needed, of course, if you're on console, especially these days, you need the online service like Nintendo Switch Online, PlayStation Plus, or Xbox Live Games with Gold. I'm really bad with that particular name.
Yeah,
but,
do they still call it Xbox Live? I don't think so, right?
I'm not sure either. But
yeah.
here's the thing, okay? For PS4 and Switch, you're no longer going to need an active subscription. So you just download the game and you are good to go. Of course, you're going to need PlayStation Plus or Nintendo Switch Online for the other titles, but at least for Rocket League, and if that happens to be the only thing you're playing, then that's a hell of a deal if you're asking me. And Rocket League, of course, despite being a 5-year-old game, still very active, still has a good player base, is a really hype esport to watch, of course, because who can say no to soccer with cars, rocket-powered cars, no less, right? And I know you've dabbled a bit in Rocket League, and with this news, does it make you want to get back into it?
Well, the few months that I played Rocket League, folks, were the saltiest months of my entire life, because you get into a game and you're up against people who are doing all these sorts of tricks. They know what they're doing, and I mean, while it is very enticing, I might have to just get some friends in to play with me, just so I'm not up against really, really good randos in queue. I think that's what'll get me back in there.
Yeah, it's always, I mean, as with any multiplayer experience, always better with friends. And wait, I might have to add to that, always better with friends who are better at the game so they can carry you.
Carry me, senpai. Let's go.
All right, we're going to keep on bringing back that term as we go along. And of course, with that, we're looking forward to more Rocket League. Will we be seeing you online? I hope so. Now, of course, this past week, we saw the, well, at least for me, out of nowhere. I didn't know that NVIDIA was announcing a whole bunch of new graphics cards, and this caught me by surprise. But someone who actually was awake to watch the entire thing is right beside me in this Zoom call that we're having right now. I wonder who it is. Renzo, any idea?
Oh, it's me, because, you know, there were a bunch of streamers who were live watching the actual NVIDIA stream, because they tend to do that. They host watch parties so they can watch with their viewers. And so I was watching a streamer that I was subscribed to, and yeah, reacting to the new line of GPUs, which are graphics cards for those unaware of the PC building life. It is the RTX 3000 series. All right, so it's a level up from, of course, is it the 200 series or 2000? It's a 2000 series from last one, right?
Yep.
I love the RTX series. So this one will, of course, feature the RTX 3090, 3080, and 3070 cards, and it is the second generation of RTX graphics cards that'll run features like real-time ray tracing, whatever the hell that means, with much higher performance.
It's a huge buzzword.
It is a huge buzzword. All I know is that if you disable it, it greatly improves your performance. And it will have much higher performance than the current RTX cards. But most importantly, I think what shocked everyone the most is that they're surprisingly cheap for brand new NVIDIA RTX cards. Because for those of you unaware, when it comes to PC building, people tend to spend the most when it comes to GPUs, especially if you're building a gaming rig. So they tend to go upwards of $1,000 minimum, right? But for this line of 3000 cards, we'll be seeing the 3090, I believe at around $1,500, but that is the highest end of the line, going all the way down to $700 for the RTX 3070, which it really isn't that bad considering how expensive even the low-end RTX cards were in the past couple of years. But what we're super excited about are not only, of course, the gaming capabilities, if I'm not mistaken, 360 FPS capabilities. You can also—
That's a lot of frames.
That's a lot of frames,
even for the human eye.
More precise aiming and reaction times for FPS games. But you'll also be able to play 60 FPS at 8K resolution. I don't know why you'll be playing a game at 8K resolution if you own a theater screen somewhere, but you can do that with the new 3000 series. But also the extra features that come along with it, like the new and improved noise canceling and noise suppression features, and also their much more sophisticated green screen out of whatever background is behind you capabilities. I'm not sure what the actual feature is called, but yeah, I mean, it boasted a bunch of features and a bunch of new toys and tools to play around with. So we're pretty excited about this, Billy. But you, as a non-PC builder slash gamer so much, what do you feel about this this bit of news, man?
For one, okay, this is mostly by osmosis, but in the days, or let's say in the direct aftermath of course, the announcement stream, because I would see these, or I would see just basically the ripple effects on social media, because of course a ton of my friends there, or mutuals, are also gamers, mostly PC gamers too. So I'm seeing less jokes about, you know, less morbid jokes about having to sell off body parts or internal organs to, of course, finance these cards. There's a lot less, because if I'm not mistaken, maybe years ago when the RTX 2000 series was announced, there were a lot of those, like, which of my siblings do I have to pawn off for this, or something like that. Yeah.
Hindi ko naman kailangan yung liver ko eh.
Oh yeah,
like that.
Yes, I know the humor's dark, but you know that's how it's commonly done when we're talking about graphics cards. But yeah, there's a lot less of that, and then people are just outright shocked over like how competitive or how aggressive we were talking about aggressive pricing, and then you know. Of course, a lot of people are also wondering, like, what are NVIDIA's main competitors going to do about this now? And this really does pose some interesting questions about how this competition is going to shake out in the near future, because the first shots for this generation of GPUs were fired, and, man, they were heard around the world.
You know what? I'm totally okay with this GPU war starting between NVIDIA and AMD, as long as the prices get more and more aggressive. If you
because
know.
we win in the end.
Yeah, we win in the end.
But if you ask me, when you did mention, of course, that green screening technology, at least it doesn't mean in this pandemic I don't have to go out to, let's say, Divisoria and spend 150 on a backdrop.
Yeah, but 150 pesos compared to $700 minimum for that green screen technology.
At least I saved 150 pesos in the trip to Divisoria. But I missed that place. I missed that place. For the record, I love going to Divisoria. But of course, let's move on from something like super technical to something that involves jelly beans. What could it be? I feel like these days there isn't a week that goes by where we don't talk about Fall Guys, because come on, it's an adorable game. It's easily one of the biggest games on the planet. There are equal amounts of just gushing over how adorable the entire art style is, and just insane amounts of salt that could send you to, I don't know, the National Kidney Transplant Institute or something.
And the social media game is fantastic as well.
They're on point. It's just so fun seeing that this studio, Mediatonic, of course, they don't take themselves too seriously. And down to the matter at hand, of course, you're probably wondering what's coming into Fall Guys or what's happened with the game. Well, of course, we all know that Season 2 is coming. It's medieval-based. They also recently had a bidding war among brands, and the winners, or like the top bidders, are going to get costumes based on them. However,
that's true, and it was for charity.
Oh, yeah, for charity. So, of course, any kind of charity is good, especially, you know, with how things are these days. People will need as much help as they can get. However, there's another addition that's coming into Fall Guys that sort of came out of nowhere, and you know, in both senses of the term. The news came out of nowhere, and this obstacle is going to come out of nowhere. May I introduce you to our soon-to-be friend, Big Yetis.
Big Yetis!
So, if you're wondering who or what Big Yetis is, think of it as a hammer, a vertically swinging hammer that randomly appears on any of the stages to, as the kids say these days, yeet you.
Yeet! For those of you who don't know, yeeting is basically the act of tossing something really, really far back. It's based on a Vine that we can't quote because there's a bad word in it, but yeah, you yeet something.
Pretty much.
It's aptly named. It's aptly named. They announced it on their Twitter, on their social media. Of course, again, fire game as always, and it read this way. I've got a spicy leak for you all. We're working on a little something that we've been calling Big Yetis. Big Yetis will randomly appear in levels to shake things up. Big Yetis is chaotic neutral. Big Yetis is not your friend. Big Yetis is not your enemy.
Oh no!
And of course, the example they gave, they have a little preview animation right there, is just how Big Yetis is chaotic neutral, because sometimes it'll be, of course, to your disadvantage, but this one example they have, the Fall Guy got swatted all the way to the finish line.
Woo!
No, not swatted.
Which is a popular strat.
He got yeeted. Way to the finish line.
Which is actually a popular strat among Fall Guys players. You know, you wait until an obstacle can propel you forward, but this one is random. It shows up at whatever obstacle and can either make or break your game, which, I mean, come on, we can't have enough chaos in a game like Fall Guys.
Yes, it just adds more to the whole Japanese-style obstacle course vibe that they're going for. And yeah, ever since I got this on the first day, I've actually watched more Fall Guys than I've played it, because I don't want to partake in the salt all too much, but I love seeing salt from other people.
But you know what I realized? This game is salt proof, because, you know, if you get attached to your character, your little bean, and if ever you get eliminated, at the end when you're looking at the progress screen of leveling up, your little bean is just there, like,
happy to be here
and jumping and happy, and I'm just like, I can't be salty.
Yeah, he's happy to be there. And by the way, this is a slightly older news, but just in case you haven't caught it, this is also from their official Twitter. Fall Guys are about 2 meters tall, so think about the implications of that.
Jeez.
Now, before we start losing our minds and losing sleep, and, you know, we won't be able to do any more work, how about some trailers? And our first trailer for today is for Dead by Daylight, called Descend Beyond. It's a new chapter, or it's their fancy name for seasons. And
season, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Dead by Daylight, by the way, just in case you need to catch up on this, is an asymmetrical multiplayer horror game. So, what do we mean by asymmetrical multiplayer? The teams aren't evenly arranged. It's usually, 4 or 5 survivors versus 1 killer. It's also been done in something like Friday the 13th.
Evolved.
Yes,
and Evolved as well.
Of course. And, of course, for this one, you all have to fulfill objectives, survive against the killer. If you are playing the role of the killer, well, it's as the name implies. So this one, of course, involves a new area called the Blight. Or, well, the new killer is called the Blight. He's got some pretty interesting abilities, mostly based around mobility. And Renzo, have you been playing Dead by Daylight?
There was a period like last month where a bunch of friends and I got on the mobile version, which is super good. It's very close to the actual PC version. And then we moved to the PC version, and it's just been a ton of fun. That was around the time when bago pa lang si Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head had just come out,
right.
And so we started playing again, and it's a ton of fun with friends. And the fact that you can, get into a private game with 5 of your friends, aka 4 of you are, the survivors, and 1 of your other friends is the killer, and you're all in a Discord voice chat together, makes it all the more fun. So yes, I've spent some considerable time in Dead by Daylight. Yeah.
So how, in your opinion, I mean, I've had you look at this trailer. How are you finding this so far?
Okay, well, the Blight seems very, very scary. Anything that relates to movement, anything that impairs
that jaw of his. That's giving me nightmares.
Is fantastic. It really is fantastic. But
we might need to put a little warning on the trailer, like, "Hey, put the kids away."
That's true. That's true.
I mean, this guy is. I mean, we're grown adults, and he scares us.
Yeah, that's true. But then anything that involves debilitating or debuffing movement for any player in Dead by Daylight is super rough. Because again, the game is reliant on you moving around. For those of you who don't know, you have to activate at least 4 generators and open a gate to win a game of Dead by Daylight against the killer. So a lot of it is you running around and kiting the killer. And so if there is a killer that can impair your movement like the Trapper does, then they are a very formidable killer. So this seems like it's going to be a pretty crazy one, really.
So having your movement debuffed basically is, we're
super powerful.
We're both horror fans. It's like having a bad leg in a slasher movie.
Yeah, you're just like
you're hobbling around, just trying to get to the next place, or like trying to survive, but your leg is bad, you can't run, and of course the trailer's just walking menacingly behind you. But in the Blight's case, the dude can sprint. The dude can sprint, and that terrifies me. And yeah, the same way that full disclosure, and all of our viewers are going to find out about this right now. Fast zombies scare me.
Yes, they are the worst kind.
Rage zombies, like the ones that run in like Left 4 Dead or maybe 28 Days Later. No,
that's true.
No, sir. I can survive.
Dawn of the Dead as well.
Yeah, I can probably survive a zombie outbreak against like the Shambler types, but nope. If they run, I'm out.
No, thank you. But this isn't the first killer with a sprint. The Hillbilly has a similar sprint, but this seems to be more for the Blight. This seems to be a lot more centered around his character, that he can run around pretty fast. So terrifying, nevertheless.
Yes. And with that, of course, here's the trailer.
Welcome to Dead by Daylight. Chapter 17. Experience the scourge of ambition with Descend Beyond. The new killer is the Blight. A bright and ambitious chemist, Talbot Grimes once sought to enhance humanity through his experimental compounds, only to become a victim of his own ambition. The Blight's power is blighted corruption. Pustula serum courses through his veins, corrupting his mind and body, yet granting him unnatural physical abilities. Special ability, Rush. Press the power button to quickly rush forward. While performing a rush, the Blight cannot launch an attack. Rush into a wall or obstacle to slam onto it. If you fail to connect with a wall or obstacle, you will enter a fatigue state. Special attack, Lethal Rush. Following a slam, press the power button to launch a lethal rush, which allows you to move quickly and attack survivors. The Blight comes with 3 new perks. Spread your corruption with Dragon's Grip. After damaging a generator, any survivor that interacts with it will scream, revealing their location for a moment, and will be afflicted with the exposed status effect for a brief duration. Offer no mercy with Hex Undying. When Hex Undying is active and a different Hex totem is cleansed, that Hex will be transferred to a dull totem, so long as one exists. When within short range of any totem, survivors' auras are revealed for a moment. Remove any opportunity for escape with Hex, Blood Favor. When a survivor is hit, nearby pallets are held in place by the entity for a moment. These pallets cannot be pulled down. New survivor, Felix Richter. A visionary architect, Felix uses his relentless determination to form a plan and help other survivors. Felix comes with 3 new perks. You've always had a knack for seeing what others could not. Show your allies the path to victory with Visionary. If you are in short range of a generator, you can see its aura. Let pressure be your motivator with Desperate Measures. For each injured, hooked, or dying survivor, slightly increase the speed at which you heal and unhook your allies. Get the most out of your tools with Built to Last. Once per trial, a depleted item will have some of its charges refilled. Let ambition drive you, but tread carefully. The line between ambition and hubris is razor thin. Experience the corruption of the Blight and the ambitious spirit of Felix Richter with the Descend Beyond chapter in Dead by Daylight.
All right, folks, so now we do know that Billy mentioned earlier that he's been playing a little bit of Avengers and may have some more in store for us this episode, but I know this next trailer is directly related to the first post-release character for the game. What do we have, Billy?
And she's coming in pretty soon. Of course, this is for Kate Bishop, of course, Hawkeye. We don't call her the other Hawkeye. She is a Hawkeye, all right?
Yeah.
Just fully establishing that, and before anything else, I believe somebody at the station deserves a shout out for this, right?
Rookie Carla, the official
Yes.
Kate Bishop of 99.5 Play
Yes,
FM, as you can
calling
see
Carla
here.
And if I'm not mistaken, once this trailer actually popped up, like within seconds, you sent this to Carla.
I hadn't even watched it. I just sent it to her and I was like, I didn't even watch it. I just know to send it to you. And she was like, oh, I saw it literally the moment it came out. So
Like, why did I even have to send this? But you know, the thought is
Yeah.
there. The thought is there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure that, let's say 100 people have just straight up tagged Carla in it.
that's true.
That's the same thing that, you know, if there's anything that people know you love, people will tag you the moment that something comes up, like people do with Street Fighter news for me. But
That is very true.
back to the matter of hand, of course, Kate Bishop is coming in pretty soon, and followed soon by, of course, Clint Barton's Hawkeye. I think the release window is September, October, so yeah, 2 months, 2 Hawkeyes. So that's... so far, other confirmed characters for Avengers include, of course, Hank Pym. He's coming in. There's no release date on that, but he was revealed as early as last year's E3. And of course, Spider-Man is coming exclusively to PlayStation platforms. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but back to the matter at hand. It looks like Kate Bishop has teleportation abilities. She has portals behind her whenever she shows up. Of course, different kinds of arrows. It's going to be very acrobatic. And of course, come on, this is Hawkeye. A bow and a bunch of specialized arrows are going to come into play. But I think the most important part about this is something near and dear to you. The very fact that Kate Bishop is going to be voiced, or is voiced, by none other than Ashley Birch.
Oh, Ashley Birch, legend in the video game voicing community. She's also played a bunch of guest roles on different shows, Critical Role being one of them, the official Dungeons & Dragons show of Matt Mercer and his friends in the voice acting industry. She also voiced Mel in The Last of Us Part 2 and like a bunch of very iconic video game characters. Literally Google the name Ashley Birch and you'll most likely see all of these video game characters you recognize next to her voice.
Yeah, her filmography is already... her body of work. I'm not quite sure if you call it a filmography if you're a video game voice actor.
Yeah,
but she's done cartoons also, so she does have a filmography. If you watch a ton of modern cartoons, she's also there. And considering, okay, let's take a look at Ashley Birch's career. She hasn't really been in the industry all that long, but she's already doing so much.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, that's the talent speaking for itself.
yeah, she's been in a ton of games that I've been playing over the past couple of years, a ton of shows that I've also been watching. So, yeah, bright future ahead of her. And I know this is supposed to be talk about the Kate Bishop trailer, but we suddenly turned it into the Ashley Birch show. But come on, that's just a sign of how good she is. And with that, of course, here is the trailer for Marvel's Avengers, the Kate Bishop reveal trailer.
Avengers, good. There's someone who wants to talk to you. I believe some of you know Kate Bishop.
Oh, we've met.
So you working for S.H.I.E.L.D. now?
It's, complicated.
Where's Clint?
That's complicated, too. Clint and I were looking into what happened to Director Fury after A-Day. We stumbled on this Tachyon project, and then Clint was gone, too. What the hell is that?
Our guest finally agreed to help. Remember what's riding on this.
Easy, Doc. Deal's a deal. I'll do my part.
Clint?
We need to destroy that place. Now!
No.
Okay, how's this?
I am Thor, god of thunder.
That is not what I sound like.
And basically out of nowhere, maybe some people have known about it, but it really caught me by surprise last night. Nintendo released showed a anniversary direct for the Super Mario series, which is celebrating, by the way, its 35th anniversary this year. So they're really starting things off with a bang this time around. I know that the circumstances that we're all in are kind of strange and we really can't do much, but they still try to make it as much of a celebration as they can for this series. And while we can't feature all the trailers that were shown, we're going to show at least two that really caught our attention last night. And the first one from the direct is for Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. So of course, if you happen to be an owner of a Nintendo console, we're talking, nearly anything since Super Mario Kart, you'll definitely know that that particular series is more or less a staple, or as much of a staple as, say, having a couple of Mario games on your console. And for this one, they're taking the series in they're putting a new twist on the series. It's not a full-on sequel to Mario Kart 8, but more of a spin-off with some toys involved. And of course, always remember, Nintendo started out as a toy company before moving into video games, so this is still totally up their alley. For this one, it involves, of course, actual toys, Mario in a cart, I think, and then a bunch of other characters are going to be added down the line. There's augmented reality involved, and of course, you control said cart via your Switch, and of course you're looking down on your Switch, and then you'll just be seeing the entire thing through a camera installed in the remote control cart, and I think that's really cool. Now the problem is, I know a lot of us live in like tiny cramped spaces, and I'm no different, so I'm just wondering if there are smaller track options for the game, because as much as I'd love to play it, I honestly don't have enough floor space for it. But I hope there are some concessions, like maybe build some smaller track layouts for maybe my living room or something. But as a concept in and of itself, Mario Kart Live already looks pretty interesting, and maybe I just get it to have that toy anyway. Here's the trailer. And our last trailer for today is for Super Mario 3D All-Stars, the long-rumored but now finally confirmed compilation of Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy, all iconic titles that were on, of course, previous generations of Nintendo consoles, finally coming to Switch this September. And I'm not quite sure if there's a lot going to be added to them, but we do know that the visuals will be enhanced to some degree. That original charm is still going to be there. They're not going to mess around with them too much or just build things from the ground up, but they're going to be the games that you mostly remember just looking a little better, and I'm glad that it's coming to Switch. Of course, you won't need to pull out your old consoles, or maybe if you don't have them anymore, find other means in order to play them, and it's just right there. And given that, of course, the Switch is a hybrid console, that in itself is a huge plus. There's, of course, the glaring omission of Super Mario Galaxy 2, which we're just gonna have to wait on further word from Nintendo if they're gonna add it along down the line or release it in a brand new compilation. That's all up in the air, but I'm glad that this collection of 3 titles on its own is pretty good value. And as I guess a Sega and PlayStation kid growing up, I missed out on a lot of these titles, so just to get the chance to experience these is pretty amazing in and of itself. Of course, it's there to drive up or bring out some nostalgia in older fans and just get newer players. I'm part of that newer fan base who missed out on the initial run of these games, so I'm just really happy that we have something like this coming out soon. And with that, of course, here's the trailer.
It's me, Mario!